Y'all don't understand how hard this is for me. One second. My girls were 7 and 4. And that's the part that makes me emotional. If anyone is struggling with the diagnosis of a brain tumor, who would think a brain tumor? Daddy, my head is just banging. My head is banging. So not no BBL, not no boobs or anything. You can't really hear what the doctor is saying anymore because what are you saying? 1 second. I'm feeling emotional right now. And I could have some help. Shit. I am God's favorite. 20 years later, why? Why am I sharing it now?
Life with Daa'iyah. Life with Daa'iyah.
What's up, guys? So welcome back to the channel. My name is Daa'iyah. If you're new, welcome back to another video. So as you see from the title, I am going to share something with you that I've never shared on my channel before. And yeah, so if you have just found my channel, then you probably know that my name is Daa'iyah and I have a family of 5 kids and a husband. We have dogs and things like that. But what you may not know is over 20 years ago, 21 years to be exact, I had brain surgery. Yeah, I had brain surgery. So that is what this video will be about today. I will be sharing my story with you. So if you are interested in that type of content, if you're interested in knowing me just a little bit better and kind of getting an idea of why I live my life the way I do, then stay tuned. So I have literally been wanting to make this video for a long time, y'all. When I first started YouTube, I initially wanted to share, I had recently gotten a surgery. And not no BBL, not no boobs or anything like that, y'all. But I did get a surgery and I plan on sharing that as well. So that's why I'm not kind of like really touching on it. But just to give context, when I first started the channel, it was the year I had the surgery and I just felt like I'm not the only woman that has gone through, you know, what I had went through, you know, so, and I'm finding out a lot of women are going through that. So that's what I initially wanted to do. Then I thought about, me and how I felt when I had my brain surgery and kind of not having anyone to relate to, you know. I couldn't talk to anyone about it. And if I did, it was them feeling sorry for me. And that's just not what I was looking for. You know, I kind of wanted to, you know, just have some relatable conversation with someone else. So this video is for anyone that is struggling with the diagnosis of maybe having a brain tumor, because that is, I have a brain tumor right now. I have a brain tumor. Yeah, I'm gonna just say that and then I'll get into it. But if anyone is struggling with the diagnosis of a brain tumor or recovery from the brain tumor, or just trying to figure out if your life is ever gonna be the same again, I want you to know that you will get your life back. You will be yourself again. It may take a while, but if you focus and that's what you want, you will get your life back. So first, I want to let you all know, I kind of touched on, but I want to kind of go into it a little bit more of why I'm sharing this now. You know, 20 years later, why? Why am I sharing it now? I've definitely mentioned it before, not in detail. I may have been like going to a doctor's appointment, or I may have been having a headache, or just different symptoms to where I have to go and, you know, get my checkup or whatever, but I kind of say in my videos, it would be great if I could find those times and kind of insert them, because I would say, oh, I haven't told y'all yet, it's coming soon. It's coming soon. I haven't told you all this. So, you wouldn't know the reason of, maybe the doctor's appointment, or I couldn't really give you all any context of what was going on with me because I had not even shared that part of me yet. So my graduation, and if you all have not checked out that video, go ahead and check that out. I will link it here. But it just had me, after graduation, I just was reflecting on my life, and just all the good in my life, the blessings that have been bestowed upon me. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I am God's favorite. Okay. I am God's favorite. And I will say that time and time and time again. In my heart, I truly believe that I am one of God's favorites, because so much has been thrown my way. And I'm not saying I'm the only one, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just speaking, I can only speak for myself. So for me, I have just had so much happen to me. I've been in different situations and, and I've always come out to where I can learn from my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't so deep that I couldn't come back from it. So that's why I say God loves me, and I have a real purpose in this world, y'all. I'm telling y'all, I really do. And I'm living it out. Okay. And this has just been on my heart to share, just to help someone. It could be one person, y'all. I don't care. I don't care if this video gets 3, 4, 5, 20, 50 views. Okay. I don't care. This is something that was put on me. And to me, it was God, because y'all have no idea how many years. I started YouTube, I think 2022, 2023, something like that. 2022. And then I kind of got more serious 2023. And you know how it goes, but, oh my God, I forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, I just wanted to help someone. And like I said, I have been wanting to do this for a long time. Okay. What happened? So what had happened was, y'all don't understand how hard this is for me. One second. Okay. Stop, Daa'iyah, stop. So, let me just add, this is not easy for me. I thought, I did think that I was ready, because, I don't know. I don't, when I talk about it amongst, family, which would be like my husband, I might bring it up to a cousin or something if something's going on. I don't get emotional about it, until if we go into depth about it or whatever, but, I'm feeling emotional right now, but I'm not sad. I'm not sad. I'm just, one second. Okay, y'all, we are going to get through this, because I said I was not going to do this, but I'm just an emotional person, y'all. I'm just an emotional person. So that was one of the hardest. Okay, y'all. So we're just going to tell the story, because any back story, maybe it'll come together in the end. I do have my phone right here because I want to stay on task, but in my brain, like, how you have your points that you want to make, but in my brain, I need to explain certain things for you to understand certain things. So that's what's going on. But anyway, I have been wanting to tell this story for a long time, and I want to help just anyone out there that may be experiencing what I'm experiencing. So I'm going to explain to you how it happened, how I discovered that I had a tumor, and all of everything, okay, that I can remember anyway. Like I said, it was 20 years ago, but literally it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. So I should be able to, tell you all what I need to tell y'all. But anyway, so I was 25 years old. I was 25 years old, and I had 2 girls. My girls were 7 and 4. And that's the part that makes me emotional because of I had babies. You know what I'm saying? One weekend, and this happened all the time. My dad, we would always go to my dad's house and barbecue and, just drinking and having a good time. And the kids, everybody, we would just kind of cook out all the time. You know what I'm saying? So every Friday, I already knew, me and the kids, we were going to go down to my dad's house. And at that time, me and my husband were together maybe 3 years. We had just moved in to our first house together that year, 2005. We had just moved in together, I think in April, okay? My surgery was in July. But anyway, we were over my dad's one Friday, and I can remember the day, and I don't recall my kids being at home with me when I'm getting dressed to go to my dad's house. I feel like I don't know. I don't feel like they were there. They were either with family, they were somewhere, but they were not home because I remember getting off work and my head, and all that week, my head had been hurting, but after work, I would drink, we would drink, we would take shots, we would, do all that or whatever. So I'm just chalking it up to, it was a hangover. You know what I'm saying? Or I hadn't ate good, just anything that would cause a headache. Who would think a brain tumor? So of course that was not my thought at all. That never came in my head. So anyhow, that weekend I came home from work and I wanted to lay down and take a nap because my head was hurting so bad. So I took ibuprofen and I laid down, and I remember I kept getting phone calls of my family telling me to go ahead and come down to my dad's house. Everyone was like, where are you at? Where are you at? When you coming? Whatever. So I went ahead, got up, got dressed, and I was just like, oh my God, it was just like horrible. So I stopped, got something to drink, got down my dad's, and we're having a good time drinking, but I'm telling my dad, I'm like, Daddy, my head is just banging. My head is banging. So he gave me something stronger. I'm trying to think of the name, but anyway, he gave me something stronger or whatever. So I took that. So I really didn't drink that night. So then that's Friday. Here comes Saturday. So, same thing. Got up, head hurting, trying to get through. So I'm just going to fast forward to Sunday. Sunday, I was in my basement and I just could not function at all. I can't remember why I was in my basement because I really never went down there like that. But I was laying on the floor in our basement and I just could not deal with life, it seemed like. So I don't know what happened on Sunday all the way. So Monday is the day. Monday, because I was always off on Mondays. And I worked at a salon and spa. So I was off that Monday And my mother ended up coming over because I feel like we talked that weekend, and I kept telling her I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good. So when she came over, I'm telling her how I feel, and she's on the phone with somebody, and all of a sudden I ran to the restroom. You know, it was just right there. I ran to the restroom and I threw up. So she was like, and she calls me by my middle name. She's like, Maha, no, come on. You need to go to the doctor. You need to go to the doctor. So still did not go that day. And it's going to be choppy because I can't recall why. Okay. So ended up Tuesday, I had, like I said, I can't remember everything, but I remember I dropped my oldest daughter off to the hair salon where her aunt was. And so we drove to the emergency room. So upon arriving to the emergency room, I'm telling them my symptoms. I'm telling them what's wrong. They running tests. They did a CAT scan, nothing. So they literally ordered an MRI. All I know is there was a doctor that I had never seen, and he came in, and he was actually a neurologist from another hospital, but he worked with this hospital too. Y'all know how doctors do that. So when I tell y'all, he is my guardian angel. When I tell you, oh my God. Okay, we'll get into that. But anyway, he came in the room where me and my husband were, and he said, I can't remember verbatim, but I will never forget that he said, you have enlarged ventricles. When he said that, it sounded so serious, and I didn't know what it was. I don't remember. It was like, y'all know how in movies, when the doctor comes in and tells somebody something and they say maybe they have cancer or something, and then they'll fade out the doctor talking to where it almost sounds like a whisper. Not even a whisper, but just you can't really hear the doctor talking anymore. It's basically like letting you know that in the brain of the person that the doctor is telling, they're not really hearing anymore. You can't really hear what the doctor is saying anymore, because what are you saying? What are enlarged ventricles, first of all? What are you saying? So enlarged ventricles, I'm going to explain this to you guys because I did not know what it was. But enlarged ventricles means the fluid-filled spaces inside the brain are larger than normal. Okay? So just to say it plain instead of reading it off the screen, basically the placement of my tumor, it was, he described it as like a drain. Like if you stop water up in the tub or wherever, dishes, washing dishes or whatever, when you stop. So basically my tumor was in a place where it is making the fluid build up around my brain, and that's causing the headaches. So once I grasped what he was saying, he went ahead to say, now mind you, this is Tuesday. He went ahead to say, get together with your family, let them know what's going on. And this is literally my boyfriend that we kind of just got serious, and, we had been through a little, stuff, and we had just got serious. So, we lived together, but it was just, he was like, oh my God, he was like, he didn't know what to do, say we're young. I'm 25. He was maybe 28. I don't know, 29, but it was just a lot for us to, you know what I'm saying? So he's like, what? Oh my goodness. What's going on? So he was saying, get together with my family because let them know what's going on. Friday, I'm going to have brain surgery. Y'all, you could have bought me for a nickel. I did not know what was going on, y'all. That was so terrifying to me, y'all. The surgery was not on my mind. Him saying that it was benign, which is non-cancerous, that was not on my mind. I wasn't worried about me. All I could worry about is my girls. I was like, I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. I don't want anybody to raise my girls. I did not want anybody to raise my girls. I had to have a conversation with God, okay? And I just, I've always, I can't get into that, okay? I had to have a conversation with God, and that's what I did. It was just like my biggest fear. My girls are going to lose their mother. That's not fair. It just wasn't fair to me. And I know life isn't fair. Like, I know all the cliche, real reality. You know what I'm saying? I know all of that. I'm aware of all of that. But I just was like, no, no, not right now. No. Please let me see my babies grow up. Please let me raise my own babies. You know what I'm saying? I just did not want that on nobody. I just know nobody is going to treat your kids like you treat your kids. You know what I'm saying? And I just did not want that for them. I just did not. So that was the hardest thing for me, y'all. So literally, I'm just going to fast forward to what I recall. So that day, like I explained, that was Tuesday. My surgery was scheduled for Friday. Y'all, all I know is at some point, because now, they want to run more tests and, okay, so I could tell you all, it's so weird because I kind of started getting sicker. So this is where it gets blurry for me, but somebody else could tell you like what happened or whatever. But from my point of view, I just recall me like kind of like under, you know what I'm saying? I was they had me sedated, and I recall my girls being in my room, so basically they had admitted me, okay, because I had gotten sick, but I wasn't aware of this. I'm out of it. So I'm not aware of this. It's the same day I had gotten sick. They had admitted me basically. And I had never left the emergency room. They admitted me. I went into the hospital part basically, So I'm in a room now, and now I'm telling you from my point of view, and then some things I'm going to tell you from what people were telling me. Okay. So I'm in my room, and my girls are at the foot of my bed. Now this is me. I'm going in and out. And I can remember laid back in the bed and my girls being at the end of the bed, and I have both of their hands. Zoe is behind me because I could hear him. He's crying, and my girls are crying, and I'm telling them, y'all stay together. Don't let anybody separate y'all. And I'm telling my oldest daughter, Kalia, to take care of her little sister. Make sure that they do not separate. I did not want my kids separated. I wanted my kids to grow up together if I was not going to make it. So what I'm thinking happened is they kind of explained to me what was about. Basically, they was about to do the surgery. They was about to do the surgery. So I had to talk to my kids. They had to get my kids up there. I had to talk to them. They said that the emergency room looked like a concert. That's how many people were there to support me. And it was just like, even like, okay, I'm jumping the gun, but it was just crazy to hear so many people, even now, y'all, it's so many people that tell me that they were there when this all happened. And I had no idea. Like I had no idea. Okay. So let's fast forward. Okay. So I talked to my kids. A couple more people came in the room. I remember them hugging on me. All of this is, I am going in and out. I remember them trying to, like, when they thought that I was like out of it, they would try to get my kids and like take them out of the room. And when I felt their little hands slipping from mine, I would grab them back. Like, I will never forget that feeling. I will never forget that feeling. And, that's what I was doing. And then finally, I don't know, after that, I just think I went out. So let's fast forward. So that was Tuesday. So Wednesday, I am in the hospital and I'm waking up to a doctor letting me know that I came on my cycle. So she was giving me a sanitary napkin. And what did she say to me? I don't know. I just remember that part. I remember I remember that. I was like, oh my God, I came on my, like, what? So then the owner of the spa that I worked for, I think it was the owner and the GM, they walked in the room and the owner said, oh my goodness, you're even beautiful with no hair. Y'all, I lost it. I was like, and I was going crazy, y'all. They had to get them out of there because I was like, oh my God, I don't want y'all to see me like that. Like, it was bad. It was so bad. I was like, I do not want anybody to see me like this. I didn't even know that I had had surgery. So they only shaved like this part. Hold on. It's on this side. So they shaved this, like just like a headband around, okay? Around here. That's what they shaved. And so that's what, well, I guess it was a wrapping or something over. I don't know. I can't recall. It was something over, of course, the part where they did, but you could still tell, if she said, So I was just going crazy. So then after that, they calmed me down, and all of that. And I was like, today's my mother's birthday. Like, where's my mother? Where's my mother at? When I tell you the nurse went crazy, she said, oh my God, oh my God. Do you know what today? They asked me, who the president was, my name, my age, where I live. They were asking questions to make sure that, I still had all of my memory and things like that. So I answered everything and I was like, where's my mother? Today's her birthday, So my mother came in there or whatever. So that was that part. Okay, y'all. I don't know. I wasn't ready for people to see me like that because I just feel like it was like something that I just wasn't ready for it. What they did in the surgery, which of course, if I'm coming out with all my memory and asking where my mother is because it was her birthday and blah, 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 blah. Mind you, I think a few days before, I had took my mother to get our nails and feet done because I took her for her birthday and I went and got my, nails and feet done and everything. So the nurses was, saying things like that as well. They were like, oh girl, you had certain, you got the cutest toes and your nails is just done. And, they doing all that, just trying to make me feel good or whatever, which I did appreciate. So what they did was right now, I still have a brain tumor. Where it is, it could not be removed. I would have died. The neurologist placed what's called a VP shunt. So it's like a Y. Okay. So I do have like, if when my hair is cut short, you can kind of see, or when I pull my hair back, you can kind of, see or whatever, but it's a Y shape and I could feel it. It's right here. These are tubes. Okay. They're called shunts, but tubes. So they're tubes right here. And then it goes all the way down and you can see right here on my neck. People always think it's a vein. It's not a vein. It's a tube. It's a shunt. So they put shunts in to allow the fluid to drain away from my brain. And it goes all the way to my stomach or whatever. It was so surreal. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know what to do. Like I said in the beginning, I didn't have anybody that could relate to me for me to even talk to about it. My family didn't know what to say. They didn't know what to ask me. They, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody knew because they didn't do it. Like, I realized later in life that I needed counseling. I probably should have had counseling after that, just so that I would be okay with what happened to me and understand what happened to me, because I really did not. I just knew that I had children and this is something that happened and we got to move forward. Y'all, I literally, they tried to discharge me 2 days later, if not a day and a half later. My mother was like, no, yeah, y'all know Zoe think he is so funny, y'all. Sometimes it ticks me when it's something so serious that he can, even think of like say a joke in that manner or whatever. But he was like, they just filleted your head and then they gonna send you, like, that's just his, I didn't take it like anything or whatever. But and then my mother was just like, I don't really feel comfortable with, we just were not, y'all, nobody just has brain surgery every day. So we didn't know what to expect, what's going on, if I'm okay. What do I do? What do I need to do something when I go home? Literally, they were like, no, we're going to send her home with some pain pills, which I feel like they gave me like the lowest dose of Lortabs or something like that. I don't like none of that stuff. I don't do any narcotic. I can't do it. I can't do it. It makes me sick. But I literally got sent home with medication and that's it. I was able to go back to work. I think I took longer off, but I feel like they were allowing me to go back to work after 8 weeks or whatever. But y'all, I'm God's favorite. I came out with nothing wrong with me. Nothing. I could do everything normal. I could drive. Everything normal. I wasn't like on medicine. It was just very surreal to me and my family that, okay, she just had brain surgery, but she's fine. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But I'm telling y'all, I'm so grateful and so thankful. But yeah, that was such an emotional time, y'all. My recovery was actually harder than I thought. And that is the recovery part that I'm talking about, is just grasping that this just happened to me. Grasping, I don't have any hair. Okay. At that time, I think I had a cute little bob. And I had to cut it off. Of course, my husband is a barber, so he was cutting my hair. I wasn't even comfortable going into the barbershop. I wanted him to cut my hair just with me and him. I remember one day he had someone there and he was like, come on, it's just such and such here, and I was like, no, we could do it another time or whatever. And he was like, he didn't even realize, like, I don't think anybody realized or could relate to what I was going through and why I didn't want anybody to see me. That's when I started wearing hats and scarves. I started off with scarves, like my grandmother. Oh my God, my grandmother. She gave me the most beautiful scarves, y'all. So I was wearing scarves in, different little ways, with the ball in the back, ball in the top, just because I was always, I wanted to be cute, BB was my store. So I went into, y'all, honey, I was shopping every day and I feel like now looking back, I feel like I may have been trying to prove something to myself, but I don't know. I don't know. I was trying to adjust emotionally, but having children, I really didn't get that time to do that. And I was young again. Like I said, I definitely should have had counseling. I didn't know what my life was going to look like after that. I didn't know if I would feel comfortable going back to work. All the questions, just, it was a lot. But what I did find myself doing, I would go out all the time. I would always go out. And when I tell y'all now, y'all can probably, y'all see, I have so many hats. That is the reason I got hooked on hats, because okay, so first I got hooked on hats because of my surgery, and I had a fade. I wasn't a fade girl at that time. Okay. So I couldn't wrap my brain around walking around with a fade. I just couldn't. Everybody told me how pretty I was. My mother had one at the time. And I don't know if at the time, but my mother had, been wearing her hair short like that and everything. So, and I looked just like her. So I know what I would look like. It just wasn't me then. You know what I'm saying? I was young and, I just wanted my hair, wigs and weaves was not even in like that. Okay. So I just wanted to know fully, what does this mean for my life now? Like, am I going to be insecure all the time? Am I going to be, I questioned so much stuff. So that is the story. Okay. 20 years later, y'all see your girl, you would never know. And that is what this message is about. You will get your life back. You will get your confidence back. You will live your life again. I am 45 now. I have been blessed to see 45. I've been blessed to see my children grow up. My daughter that was 7 is now 27. My daughter that is 4, she's 24. You know what I'm saying? We are so blessed that I can't even see the negative in it. That's how blessed I am. I'm a grandmother. Okay. I have grandkids. I'm one of those people, and I think I've said it in previous videos. I do not I don't like to be defeated. I'm up for a challenge. If somebody would have told me then what my life would look like now, I wouldn't have believed them. I went through so much. And like I said, as I got older, I realized that if I had gotten counseling through that time, I would have felt better about myself and I wouldn't have tried to hide. That's what I was saying. I was talking about the hats. So I started wearing hats. I probably have every style hat in the world. Okay. Because I would wear them out. So I had to wear, I had to have different styles of hats. To where when my hair grew back, and that's the thing I was going to explain to you all too, because my hair did grow back. I mean, long, full, whatever. And then a couple years later, where the tubes are, it started getting really, really, really thin. Okay. And by that time is when I started wearing sew-ins or whatever. But y'all could not get me to not wear a hat. They ended up being like a safe place for me. And I tell my husband that now, that hats, I feel secure. I feel comfortable. I feel like nobody can see me. I hid for so many years because I did not want people. It was just, I lost my confidence. I lost it. I did. I lost my confidence. Nobody would have ever known. I don't even think I knew. I just think I was just doing things that, like, you know how you be like, nope, I ain't doing that. I'm not going there. That's how I was with certain things. I don't know, y'all. I don't want to like just ramble on about that, but hats are my safe space. I have a plethora of hats. I have so many hats and I have so many scarves. And still, like I said, today, I will wear a hat. You see how my hair is done? I'll throw on a hat right now. I'd rather put on a hat than, just hat. I don't know. Y'all. But anyway, so y'all, I got that out. A few tears here and there. But that's to be expected. This is like a very emotional story. It's life or death. I did come out on the other side. On this side, not the other side. I came out on this side. But if anyone is out there, if you're scared, if you're recovering, if you are questioning your future, please do not let this chapter convince you that your life is over. Do not let this chapter determine the rest of your life, because I'm telling you, it is light on the other side. And if it is God's will to get you through something like this, it's not your time. It wasn't my time. I have a true purpose here on earth. Okay? I know that because, yes, I had brain surgery, but I've had other things go on as well, and I'm still here. So I know that I have a purpose in life, and I'm going to live that out, and I'm going to be obedient and live my purpose out. Okay. And you can too. I'm going to just leave you with this. Okay. 20 years ago, I had brain surgery. Today, I'm a wife, a mother, a college graduate, a grandmother, and I'm still dreaming. I still have dreams. Y'all know, if you watch my channel, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. If my story can leave you with anything, I hope it leaves you with, this does not determine your future, okay? It's how you deal with it. And what I wish I would have done is shared my story a long time ago. I wish I had enough courage, because my baby sister, she always, well, not always, but she says I'm brave, okay? So I wish I was brave enough, and I had because y'all, I'm a crybaby. I just wish I had that before now, because I'm sure over the years, people could have, this could have helped somebody, okay? And I could have had some help. Shit. I just want to leave you with, your story is not over either, okay? You can live out your story, okay? So that is my story. I hope you all enjoyed this video. It feel like a weight has lifted off of me. I feel very good, y'all. I feel so good. But thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all listening. If you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate it. Drop me a couple of the little hand hearts if you made it to the end. And before you head out, give this video a big thumbs up, leave me a comment, share the video. And if you have not already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the gang. You will definitely love it here. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.